FC25's here. It feels like all I'm getting is, where's the new sliders update? Well, don't you worry. CMK's got you covered.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm!
Right then, geezers, first lot of sliders for the year. And this is going to be a complete breakdown of everything. Everything that I have selected on my gameplay so that you can play exactly the way that you see it in my career modes. Now, we're going to start with the gameplay lot. Then we'll go on to the camera. We're going to go on to the simulation settings and also the AI behavior as well. Because I think at the moment, we've got it down to a T. So, like always, the competitive preset, which of course means that auto shots and assisted headers are off. Precision shooting, once again in the game, is a must. If you haven't got it turned on, you're playing the game wrong. Get rid of time finishing. I don't know what they've done to it. I don't know anyone that uses it, to be honest. I know it's very handy to be used in online, but if you're playing offline, just don't bother. There's no point. Through ball assistance is going to be on semi. Now, I've struggled with passing this year. I don't know if it's the new game or it's the way it's been developed. At the moment, maybe it'll be patched, but I'm struggling with passing. So at the minute, we're going to go with semi. Exactly the same for lobbed through pass as well, and the same with ground pass assistance. I've been flirting with manual, but at the minute, I'm sticking with semi. Cross assistance, I've gone on manual. I don't know what's happening this year. I hate crosses. They seem to be impossible. They don't go to the players who we want them to go to. And cross assistance seems to be best now when it's just completely off, when it's just completely manual. Same for lob pass assistance. You know how much I love this. Those diagonal balls to our left and right wingers from our centre defensive midfielder or our centre back. It's just, oh, chef's kiss. Pass receiver late, and then precision pass sensitivity, we've gone with high. Auto clearances are off, as always. Directional clearance, which is it's just a must. For me, advanced defending is always going to be the one that I'll stick it on. Again, between tactical and advanced defending, I don't think it really makes that much of a difference. I just like to have a little bit more control. And then the rest of them, I've just left as normal. I'm not really going to go into the rest of them because, yeah, I ain't touched them. A few people have asked me in the past about cameras as well. Now, I don't really play on any of these, like to player, etc, etc. So realistically, all you're looking at is the legacy for single player camera. You go down then to custom camera settings. And then we can go into the rest of these. So height is sitting at 15. You've got zoom at 10. Far side focus at 7. Zero ball tracking. I always think it makes me feel a little bit sick. I don't know if that's just in my head, but it just does. Penalty area zoom on 0. I see all the pitch. And then all of these, it doesn't really matter about. Definitely get power shot zoom off. Now, we're going to go across to the simulation settings. Now, I love it this year that they've put user and computer just next to each other. It's bloody beautiful. So, custom settings as always. And I've been flirting with 35 to 40. Now, this is going to be a bit of a sliding scale for you to use. Whatever you like, whatever you prefer, go for it. At the minute, I am loving 40, but I can imagine when I get up to the Premier League and things like that, at the minute, of course, I'm playing in League 2. When I get up to the Premier League, I might have to drop it down a little bit for both the user and the computer, but at the minute, 40 is looking good. 51 acceleration seems a bit of a staple, to be honest. We're keeping it there. With 60 shot error, again, you might want to slide it up to 65, but at the minute, for me, 60 for both is looking absolutely perfect. Now, the reason I've got them the same for every single one, because it seems that when you change one side of things, I always play with taking things down to 0 and then putting up to 100. It seems to do it for both the user and the computer at the same time. So if I was to put sprint speed for me down to the bottom, the sprint speed for the computer would go down to the bottom, even though their value's still on 40. I don't know if it's a bug, I don't know if they're going to change it at some point, but again, at the minute, all of these seem to be working for me. Pass error down to 53. Could knock it up to 55, maybe even 60, but playing in League 2 at the minute, I needed to lower it down a little bit because I'm playing with like 40, 50 rated players, and it's just it just caused me a bit of a headache. Shot speed at 49, just lowering it down slightly. Pass speed down at 40 for each. Now, this is where mine differs from a lot of sliders settings that I've seen, is that I'm still having my injury frequency quite high. It's not as high as last year, it's not 75 or 70, but 65 seems to be a nice little sweet spot. A few players still getting injured, but to be honest, I could probably knock it up to 70. Might give it a try actually. But injury severity needs to be really, really low. I'm seeming to be getting a fair amount of injuries, but I would say more often than not at the minute, I'm getting a couple of months injuries to half a year injuries, rather than he's out for a couple of days with a bruised toe or something like that. So right down to 20 at the minute seems to be working, but that could change very, very soon. Goalkeeping abilities, we're keeping them at 50. At the minute, I'm liking the balance. Some of the goalkeepers that I'm coming up against are absolutely world class, and then some of the lower rated goalkeepers are playing like lower rated goalkeepers. So at the minute, I think we're at a sweet spot. 65 on the marking, could probably even knock it up to 70 here, but at the minute 65 is working. Gives you a nice little bit of space, but as you go up the leagues, I'm assuming that you're going to have players that really tightly mark you. And I'm finding as well that a lot of my players are playing like they're 20 strength or something like that, even when they're not. They're really strong, powerful, physical players. Run frequency for a user and for the CPU, both at 70. Making a lot of runs. I'm liking the fact that I'm being tested. I'm finding a lot of the reverse through balls at the minute from the CPU are working really well, and actually does add a little bit of a challenge to the game. Line height then, so quite low. I play at quite a low line anyway, and also the same for the CPU, which means that you can't just dink balls over the top, especially with the wind settings and things like that we've got running at the moment. Now, line length then, so how stretched or compact the team are for the length of the pitch. Realistically, this could even go a little bit shorter, but 55 again seems like a bit of a sweet spot, so I would suggest between 55 and 60 would work really well for both of these. If you want it to be ultra realistic, you're probably knocking it up a little bit further towards 60, but at the minute I'm really enjoying 55, and again, like I said, I've played 3 full seasons now, and making sure these sliders do work to what I like, but again, I like to give you that sliding scale so that you can make your own choices. Line width then, from side to side, I think 40 is a nice one at the minute. I play quite compact anyway, so it doesn't really change my team too much. But you do start to notice it when you're swinging balls from left to right, especially with the CPU. But this is a nice little balance at the minute. I think if you push it up to 50, they almost are hugging the touchline, so 40 is a nice one. Fullback positioning then, having the fullbacks sat a little bit further back. Obviously, it's not too much of a difference from 50, but for me, I would stick this with 40 at the minute. You are finding that a lot of if you go into the roles where fullbacks or wingbacks are there, they tend to step up a little bit too much. So this obviously decreasing the height from their starting position means that you're not really going to see them going out of position too much. So 40 again, nice sweet spot. Always leave the power bar on 50. You could change it if you're used to it, but for me, 50 is perfect. Now, I had this on 65. I've had this on 62. For me, at the minute, 62 or maybe 63 is the furthest I would go up. 65, especially for League 2, is really, really difficult to play, and it was actually making it quite a boring game. Now, I always like the first touch error to be as high as I possibly can have it, because it does slow the game down, and you know I like a really nice slow game. But 62 seems to be the highest that I'm going to go with at the moment for a League 2 save. If you were going to do a Premier League one, maybe 65, maybe 67, but 62 for a League 2 save, I would say, is absolute perfection. So that's your sliders. Again, these are going to change many times throughout the year. I've also give you a bit of a sliding scale, so I'll never actually say stick to this or this could work. I would always say between 5 or 10 you can move them around, but for some of the specific ones I would always say, again, like for the first touch error, make sure it's at this one, because for a League 2 save I think that 62 is perfect. But new for this year, and I really like this, I've got to be honest, I think this is class from EA. They don't normally put things in that work, especially for gameplay, especially for career mode, but this is class. I love it. Absolute bravo. Once again, chef's kiss. So, AI behaviour, sticking it on custom. I'm going to go tackle aggression 70, okay? You could even go 75, but I had a few games on 75 where the opposition got red cards. I don't like too many red cards, but putting that up, I think you'll get a lot more penalties, you'll get a lot more red cards, yellow cards, etc, etc. For me, 70 feels realistic, but just outside of realistic, which is nice. You still want it to be fun at the end of the day, don't you? Build up speed, we've knocked it up to 60. Again, you want the game to be fast-ish paced, but obviously with the slider settings that I've already showed you, it slows the game down anyway with the first touch error and the pass error and the pass speed and things like that. But build up speed is quite nice at 60, I believe. You could always drop it down to 50. So I would say between 50 and 60, you keep it there. Shot frequency 65. I've just found in the last couple of FIFAs that the opposition don't like to have long range shots. I always like every now and again to be caught out by an absolute stunner from long range, rather than the Man City tiki-taka all the way around and they just pass through and score a sweaty little goal. So I've knocked it up to 65, I would even push it up to 70. First touch frequency then for the CPU, so the little first touch passes and things like that. Again, I don't want this to be a super often occurrence, because it's not really that realistic. We don't see that many first touch passes consistently throughout the team. And also, like I said, I want to slow the game down a little bit, but I do want to see some. It's always nice to see a few of those first like one touch passes and things like that. So 60 again, looking decent. Crossing frequency then, you could even put this up to 80, to be honest. I'm still getting to the point where I'm like, fucking cross the ball, do you know what I'm saying? But at 80 or 75, you know what, 80. We'll go with it, 80. We want some crosses, don't we? We want to see some crosses, but I have started to see that the CPU are attempting a few more crosses actually, so we'll go with 80. Dribbling frequency 65. Again, you can knock this up to 70 if you really wanted to be put under pressure, but I do feel that the players don't seem to have that sharpness this year. So if you put it up a little bit further, it might even be a little bit easier, giving the opponent the opportunity to tiki-taka, pass around you, is a good way to go. And then skill move frequency. Now again, in League 2 that I'm in at the minute, you're not really seeing too much skill, but I'm assuming as you go further up the divisions to the Premier League, things like that, you'll start to see a lot more of the skill move. So you could even knock it up if it was a lower rated career mode that you do in a League 2, League 1. 70 could be good. 65 for me at the minute is pretty good, but I've got to be honest, I can't remember the last time I saw a bit of skill, so I could even knock it up to 70 myself. But that looks like it then, geezers. Now I will also show you the weather effects and things like that in a second that I've gone with for this career mode. Minor changes that they've made this season actually do seem like they're making a bit of a difference, and I really do like it, to be honest. I'm starting to really like this game. I was talking to someone on TikTok the other day. They asked me how I was getting on with the game, and I said, you know what, before today I hated it, and I'm never really negative about the game, especially not in the first couple of weeks. I know they're monitoring things, they're doing stuff with the game, but I was really hating it, and then all of a sudden one day, boom, and I think it is because of Starbridge, it just completely changed and I started loving the game. So hopefully these sliders and these settings will help you guys love the game as well. So then the rest of the bits and pieces that you didn't get to see on the in-game menu is the half length. Now, half length for me, I'll either go 4 or I'll go 5. At the minute, when I'm playing important games, I like to go 5, but the rest of the time, I'm always on 4 minutes. Difficulty level, always going to be at Legendary. I might stick it up to Ultimate at some point this year to give you some Ultimate sliders, but at the minute, like I said, I'm recording for gameplay as well. I want to make it fun for myself, but also I want it to be fun for you guys to watch as well. So Legendary for me is perfect. Youth Tournament Match Level, I haven't really played too many of these, but 4 minutes, I don't want to be too long. And I'm going with current overall. It might be nice to see some of the full potential in them sometimes, but yeah. And I always watch the full match intro, of course, because I can't record content, you know what I'm saying? Already gone through the sliders. Training. Now, training plans I've put on. Now, I had to basically redo my last career mode because I put fixed rate on. Do not put fixed rate on for love nor money. Don't put on fixed rate. It kills your save, it kills your career mode. I literally had to go back and create all of my players in depth, every single one of them over again, just because I chose fixed rate at the start. So I either have training plans on fully and just set a preset, or and to be fair, I might drop my my preset. It's nothing really. It'll be a two minute video, but if you guys want it, ask for it and I'll do it for you. Now, transfers and scouting and things like that, I've gone with active transfers. So obviously I want it to make those transfers. Yeah, some of them are a bit stupid sometimes, but do you know what I mean? It's just one of them. I've gone with realistic negotiations, so realistic kind of pricing for people and things like that. And I also want transfer approaches to be strict. So if I offer a stupid amount of money for a certain player, then they tell me to jog on. Scouting, I wanted it on. Searching players again, but scouting speed for star players, I had it instant. So all the players that we know are the best in the world, Messi, Lewandowski, two aging players. What did I choose them to? But they would always come up straight away. But for general players, I just wanted the scouting speed to be normal. I went no sacking, of course. This is the biggest thing that's been put into the game. Disabled the financial takeover and had all the other stuff on. So that's about it then, geezers. That is the complete guide to sliders, settings, game settings, everything that you could want for the start of FC24 if you want to play like me. Now, geezers, if you've enjoyed this video, make sure that you drop a like. Make sure that you get commenting down in the comment section below. Things that work for you, things that don't. Do you like them? Do you not like them? I love to hear your guys' feedback on my sliders and settings because it means a lot to me when you guys comment. So please make sure that you get down in the comment section. Tell me your thoughts. But as always, geezers, it's much love from me. I'll see ya very, very soon. It's much love and peace.